It's not Krispy Kreme, but it's still good. Mmm. It's cold. So I've been hanging out here at the rest stop. I was going to do my 34-hour reset here, but they're trying to decide if they want me to run on my recap hours, which make no sense. Because if I leave tomorrow, I'm going to get my 70 back. So why move me now? I don't know. And then there's this issue with the spotted lanternfly permit and all this other stuff. But yeah, they want me to give them a call, so we'll see what happens. Oh, jeez. I thought it was fascinating that there's a spacecraft manufacturing plant or something over here. It's not really spacecrafts, it's like some trailer place, but still. Okay, so I have been in conversation with my driver leader, and I hate to say this, but we are not going to be continuing this load all the way to Virginia. The reason for it, she told me that don't worry, no, I'm not going to cry or anything, it's just something stuck in my throat. I know people say that, right? No, it really is. She says that I'm at 16 points, safety points or something, whatever it's called. And at 20 points, the safety department gets involved. And she says it was up to me if I wanted to push ahead. And I'm not comfortable pushing ahead. I'll be honest with you. I'm not familiar with driving in cold weather, ice, snow. I've done it, but not with a semi truck. I did it when I was in the military with a Humvee and a big track, with the little track things. Yeah, those are a little bit more stable. But everything seems to happen in threes. You know how people say that? And I'd like to avoid the third one if possible. And I know things are just, they're different over on the east than they are in the west, and I don't think I'm ready for it. So we're going to be calling this load. It's like 80 miles away. It's at a Swift terminal, but I forget the name of it. But we'll find that out. And then she's going to get me a load that takes me back out west. And I said to her that right now I just want to stick on simple loads, just close to home for right now. It's ironic because I was irritated because I was starting to get the same stuff over and over again, and I wasn't heading back east. Now I don't want to head back east. This is where my strength is at, right here. Doing video, doing entertainment, streaming and stuff. Trucking is, it's completely out there for me. I'm really getting into something that is a lot different than what I've ever, what I've ever done. So it's taken me a little bit to adjust and to get used to. Will I get better? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've done that my whole life. I learn and I adapt quickly. But for some people and some companies, that's not quick enough. well, no, you gotta do it like that. I'm sorry. I mean, my my brain functions differently, and some things it picks up quicker than others. I do pick it up. I do get better. But I don't need the stress and the worry that I feel that they're putting on me right now. And in some ways, I got to say, it's kind of unfair too. You know, I'm out in a situation in areas that I think are going to be fine, and then I get into the situation. I'm like, well, son of a switch. You know, and I'm trying my best not to hit anything or get caught on anything, and I think I'm good, and boom, I'm not. So now I'm just afraid of being in that situation again and something happening. So I don't know. I mean, I hope you folks can understand the reality of the actual situation. As far as the entertainer part of me and stuff, I would just love to just push ahead and whatever happens, etc., etc., etc. But unfortunately, in real life, I have things I have to think of, like my family and bills and stuff like that. And there's a point where I have to just kind of take a step back. That's not to say that we won't go back out and do stuff to the east again, because we will. So we're going to call this, and we're going to head back west. Apparently you can only have, well, there's this thing called safety points, and when you get 20 safety points, then the safety department gets involved. What does that entail? I don't know. I don't want to find out. Would it be helpful for you folks on this channel? Probably. But I don't want to be the one that goes through that. I don't want to be in a situation to where it's 3 strikes, you're out. I can't afford that. But apparently, as minor as I thought that this fender mirror getting cracked was, and it needed to be replaced anyway. Like I said, it had paint on it, and if you'll go back and look at some of those videos, you might be able to see it. It's like this little orange splotch of paint or something that was on the mirror, and I couldn't get it off. I tried getting it off, and I wound up maybe scratching the mirror in some areas. So yeah, I mean, it needed a new mirror anyway. But regardless, I've got a total of 16 points. I'm assuming 8 for the thing with the pole, and now 8 with this little fender mirror. The crazy thing is that I've not had an accident on the actual road. Everything on the road has been fine. The problem that I've had is in these areas with the trailers where they're tight situations. They're tight spots. Maneuver here, wiggle this way, wiggle that way. And then the last one, which was the worst, was trying to do all that with the tandems in the back, which makes it a whole different ball game, because now your trailer does not turn the same way that you're used to. And heck, I even sent a picture of the area to my mentor, and he said, "Oh, I know that area." He says, I just have the yard master move the trailer for me. So I think like he'll drop the trailer and the yard master will go take it in. Which I didn't even know that was an option. And I had talked to the yard master several times. And I think I might be trying to move too far too fast. You remember, folks, I was going to go in the flatbed, and I definitely wasn't ready for that. Was not ready for that. Not only was I not ready for the physical part of it, the wheels are all the way on the back on those. Now, true, with flatbed, you don't have to sit there and try to wiggle it in and put it into a dock and all this other crazy stuff. But still, it was a bit of a challenge trying to back, a flatbed and realizing, hey, this is not turning the same way that I remember in the Academy or even Top Gun. You just don't know how to park. According to my first mentor, you know how to park. What did they teach you? Didn't they teach you that in Top Gun? No, jerk. Did they teach me how to back and move around with the tandems in the back? No, they did not. The tandems were at the 40-foot mark. So, yeah, for you folks going through the academy, be aware that when the wheels are in a different location, everything that you learned in regards to backing is going to be completely off. It's gonna be different, and you're gonna be like, what the heck? Why isn't this doing the way that the way that I was trained? It doesn't make any sense. That's why. So just be aware of that. So far, I've only had to deal with tandems that are at the 40-foot mark or close to it, and all the way back. Not at other places. But yeah, I don't need any more drama or anything like that happening. I mean, it's been fun and it's been interesting, up to this point. But I don't need something else to happen, if you know what I mean. So we're gonna go back to Kansas City. We're gonna T-call this, and we're gonna get a load or two or whatever that will get us back to the west. And then I'm going to stick with just simple deliveries. If kind of like what we've done. Like I've done it for 3 times already. The Buckeye, Arizona to St. George for the Costco. I've done it 3 times now. I'm familiar and I know how to do that. The place to pick it up is big. There's a lot of room to move around. And as far as the location to go back into the dock, it's a little wicked, and I hate the fact that all these cars come in and out, and drive through and stuff. But I've become familiar with the area, and I know that is something that I can do. We also had the one that was from Cedar City to Lancaster. It was when we delivered, it was a huge area. Plenty of room for me to get around and back into a dock, no problem. The thing from Cedar City, when we went to go pick up the load, was a little challenging because the trailer was on the edge of a parking thing, and so I couldn't turn right to get out without that trailer hopping over that ledge. So I had to make a left. No, sorry, I couldn't get out right. I had to make a right. I couldn't get out left. So I had to make a right and go around and then back up and all this other crazy stuff. Which, it was fine. It was a pain, but it was fine. It wasn't tight. It wasn't like, I at least had a way to kind of move in and around. And I hardly had that when dropping off this empty trailer over there at Rocky Mountain Metal Containers, and then also that one Costco where it was a full parking lot. It was packed, and I'm like, and I wasn't sure which way to go around. We've been there, done that already. We talked about that. And this load itself there's more going on with it. There's the whole thing with the spotted lanternfly permit. that you have to have when going into that area. There's a course that I finished on the Swift University about that, but then you have to call permits and you have to get that permit. And then before you get there, the tandems have to be slid to the back. Otherwise, you get a service failure for it. Would I have forgotten by the time I got there? Or where would I have moved the tandems, and what kind of problems would I have had between that point and the receiver with the tandems in the back? Because as you start going east, roads start getting thinner or sharper, or things, it starts getting more old school. Because the east states have been in the United States for a lot longer than the west ones, if you know what I mean. So I mean, you've got bridges and underpasses that are shorter, and there's a risk of your truck getting caught. Just look up some videos on YouTube. You'll probably find plenty of them, and I'm sure there's plenty of Swift ones in there. But there's a lot of challenges between here and there, and I don't think I'm ready for it. I have to think about my livelihood, and yesterday for me was just taking a step back and thinking and reflecting on what am I going to do next. Am I going to push ahead blindly, or am I going to take a step back, soak things in, maybe work on the skills that I currently have, and then maybe move forward a little bit after that? And I decided with the latter, to go ahead and just kind of back off, work on the skills that I currently have and make them better, and then after a few months then maybe start going into some other states. And I was also thinking too that American and Euro Truck Simulator might actually be pretty helpful. I need to get the Oculus Quest 2 with the link so I can get it to work with my gaming laptop, because my Rift S does not work with it. I've tried. But for those of you who play the truck simulator, you know that these areas that they want you to park in are tight. I think part of that is for the challenge, and part of that is because the world is smaller in scale than the real world. Unlike Flight Simulator, where it's 1-to-1. So I think while I improve the skills that I have right now in the real world, in the simulator world, I can work with building my skills in wiggling a trailer in and out of tight spots, and you may have already known that there are flatbeds in the truck simulator, and I'm willing to bet that trying to turn and back those things works a lot differently than the regular vans. It's not something that I paid attention to before. I think there may have been times where I was doing the delivery with the flatbed, thinking, why in the heck why can't I move this trailer the where I want it to go? Why does it keep doing this or that, or why is it not turning enough, and etc., etc. And that's probably why. So with a combination of with the vans and the flatbeds and the wheels, you can't move the wheels. That'd be great if you could. It'd be a way to get practice. But with those two different types, and just perfecting the art of being able to move and stuff, I think will help. And plus, these points they stay on your record for 90 days and then they fall off. And yeah, that's another reason why I just kind of want to take it easy for right now. Well, I'm going to go ahead and have breakfast, and then I'm going to get things ready for us to go to Kansas City. And I'm going to take a shower and stuff there, maybe do laundry. I'm not sure. It all depends upon what they send my way. I would have done this at a truck stop, but my intention was going to go all the way to Virginia, and that's why I stayed here at the rest stop, was to reset my 70-hour clock. If I had known that I was going to be doing all this, I would have just gone to the truck stop and taken care of stuff. I suppose I could have done that yesterday. I don't know. After the fact, but since I was already here, I just decided just to finish off the clock and just get it reset. But all right, anyway, let me go ahead and get ready here. So there we go. About 2.5 hours over, but you can see that I've been off for more than 34 hours, and my 70-hour clock is now reset back to 70. So that makes things a lot easier when it comes to driving and doing planning and stuff. I'm glad we're not going to Virginia. Look at this. I did not see this when we picked up the trailer. I mean, I looked at the tires. This must have been, if you look at where they're at, these must have been rolled over on the ground where I couldn't see them. Because back over here, it doesn't look too bad, but holy crap. This side looks really bad. These tires look okay. Yeah, these tires are fine. But that other one, yeah. No, this is... I'm glad I made the decision not to go. So there's something else here. It's not just the trailer, but I think I may need to get the PSI checked on this, because it seems like it's dropping more than 4 PSI per minute. Let me push on the brakes. You got to do that, and then you got to push those in right there. Gotta give it a moment, and then you count for 1 minute. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. That's 1 minute. Look how much it's lost. It was at 100 PSI. Now it looks like it's at 75. That's a lot more than 4 PSI. So I'm going to have them take a look at that. Geez, with everything that's been happening, maybe it was a good thing that I stopped here to reflect. because I don't know. I mean, I recorded the air brake or air pressure loss here for you when I did my air brake test. So you saw for yourself. I didn't edit or anything. I counted all the way up to 60. You saw how much that it lost. Thankfully, the Kansas City terminal is 76 miles away, about an hour and a half. We can go there. I can have them check this stuff out before we go anywhere. So let's go ahead and go, and let's just be careful getting there. We're here at the Swift Kansas City terminal. I'm pulled a little far, but I don't want to disconnect the trailer just yet because I want to find out if they want me to pull the trailer over to the shop or if they just want me to just go ahead and drop it right where it's at. So got to send a freeform macro message just to let them know what I'm doing, and then I'll go from there. Look at that truck. Okay, at least I didn't do that to my truck. All I lost was the freaking fender mirror. It didn't rip off the entire side like that one. Alright, bay 6 for trailer repairs, bay 1 for tractor repairs. Right there. Go ahead and talk to them and see what they want me to do here. And by the way, it is freaking cold. This is one of those examples that I like getting the driver qualification back, because it came with this jacket. I don't really have a thick jacket. I got my Minecraft jacket, but that's not thick. The wind will just go right through it. Alright, there's trailer service. The entrance for drivers. So I'll head over there first. Oh, jeez. I don't have my gloves with me. I didn't think my hands would get this cold. Now remember, folks, when I was in the Army, I was in Germany, and that was freaking cold. But, yeah, let's find out how they want us to do this. Okay, yeah, I showed him the picture of the tires, and he said absolutely they need to work on it. So there is a spot that they want me to drop the trailer at. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'll go ahead and take my truck over to Bay 1 so they can check the air pressure loss. As well as replacing that spare, because I forgot to do it in Denver. So, because I was already stressed out about the loss of the mirror, so I completely forgot about that. But at least here we can go ahead and take care of that. Hey, at least my truck doesn't look like this. Holy crap. See, it still looks fine. Just so you folks know that I am not crazy here. You remember what this lock looked like when we first picked this trailer up. I cannot turn my key enough to get my lock off. Yeah. Yep, so that's a problem. Okay, so this is the first time that we're actually going to be T-calling the trailer ourselves instead of picking one up. So this is going to go in here. Alright. We don't have a little bag to put it in. Basically what we're going to do is just fold this up and clip it in there. Kind of straighten it up there. There we go. That's all we got to do. Make sure that's sealed. Now, before we leave, I wanted to show you. It's like, where the hell did this guy go? Must be one of the trucks that. Must be one of the trucks that was like on YouTube or something. Now, you remember I told you about the release arm. Now, you saw how I was trying to pull it and it wasn't working, right? So, in order for us to work around, we had to pull this out as far as we can and put vice grips over here at the end, so that way the release arm doesn't go all the way in. And then wiggle the truck back and forth in order for the pins to snap in. And then you could move the tandems. That's what this has been like so far. Well, I gotta say, this is one of those facilities that's been remodeled. It's very nice. Showers are really nice too. So, hey, they are going to check out the truck in regards to the air pressure loss. And I also asked them about the inverter because it beeps. So I'm asking to see how many wattage it is. And I also mentioned to my driver leader, I said, look, is there another truck? You know, I mean, the experience has been interesting, but it hasn't been, it's been interesting, it's been entertaining, it's been amusing, but it hasn't been the most enjoyable. Does that make sense? I could use a better truck, but we'll see what happens. With me getting into 2 scrapes, who knows if they'll want to give me one. Well, here is the laundry room. I got about 6 minutes left and I can put the stuff in the dryer. Apparently it's Driver Appreciation Day. And we got lunch. We got barbecue chicken and bacon wrap with chips and a few other things. Nice. Wow. That's pretty cool. See, take a look at all the stuff they have. They have clubs over on this side. They got California clubs. There's the big barbecue one that I got. Mediterranean, Thai. Ooh. That would have been good. Chicken Caesar, and then they got the sandwiches. Turkey and cheddar, roast beef, turkey and pepper jack, ham and Swiss, turkey and provolone on focaccia, and turkey, bacon, and cheddar white. Well, that's true. It's not Krispy Kreme, but it's still good. All right, so I finished my lunch, although my laundry is still drying. Man, you all missed it. I had hiccups. I haven't had hiccups for a while because I ate the wrap and I didn't have anything to drink with it. And just as I pulled out the camera to capture it, it stopped. It's like, oh man. It's like a side of me that you hadn't seen yet. It's like, darn. Well, they are working on the truck. So I'll take a look and see where they're at. Who knows what they're doing to the trailer. that thing's got issues. Folks, man, this is freaking crazy. Absolutely crazy. You know, one of those weird situations to where things were just meant to happen, because something just weird and bizarre happens as a result, and you're like, wow, this is just too much of a coincidence, right? Well, we had the situation with the mirror, okay? But we had plans on going to Virginia still. And we stayed at the rest stop for 36 hours to reset the weekly clock with the intention of going to Virginia. And then I get a message, or, my driver later wants me to call her. And she's like, you're at 16 points. You don't want another thing because then safety gets involved, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, all right, yeah, you know what? Maybe I need to start doing some things that are simpler to hone my skills and kind of get off the load that I'm on. So we get it set up for a TCAL in Kansas City at the terminal. I get here, there's the issue with the trailer. I have something looked at on my truck. But that's not the only thing that happened. And this is the awesome part. My Top Gun instructor is here. And he's been watching the show. He's been watching the episodes. And he had said that he knew he was going to be able to help me, but there were some things that I had to experience on my own before he could do it. And since he's been watching the show, and I told him some, the recent event with the mirror. By the way, there's like a 2-week delay from the time that you're watching this to the time that it actually happened. Where the heck's my truck? Oh, there it is. The piece of crap over here. I forgot. He said he's going to be able to help me. And here's the other thing. I got to talking. Well, shoot. I've got the sticker that I need here. I got that taken care of, so I've got the 2022 sticker for that. I wound up getting blank bill of lading pages because the guy was like, oh, these are going to be helpful for you. They don't have any of the permits for the spotted lanternfly. They said there's a reason that they haven't given them out, but he didn't know. And I said, no, that's cool. I'm glad you looked at that. But then also my badge, they were able to fix my badge. So now my badge works. I don't know why Phoenix couldn't get it fixed, but they couldn't. I don't understand. Something's wrong with their computer or whatever the case is, but Kansas City hooked me up. So my badge actually works now. But that's not it. It doesn't end there, folks. One of our viewers who's been watching the KILR Awesome Trucking series, because he was looking all over for a series from someone, doing something about Swift, and so he came across me, and because I asked him, he was here, and he saw me. He's like, "Is that? I gotta go find out." And he goes over to me. He says, "Hey, I've been watching your shows," and I'm like, "Really?" So we started talking, and he's a seasoned driver. So I asked him for some tips, and I showed him the situation that I recently had, and he said, "Oh, you know what you could have done? You could have pulled in and backed up to get some more space before getting set up." And I'm like, "Oh man, why didn't I think about that?" Also gave me a great idea in regards to bumping to the dock. Sometimes I would bump really gently and then set my brakes, and I was fine, but other times you bump and you kind of move forward a little bit. And so, and this is one of those things that's kind of like, it's so simple. It's like, why didn't I think of it? He said, when you get to the dock, it's like doing a tug test. Just push back, just lightly, and then set your brake. That way you know you're right up against the dock. And I'm like, it's like, why didn't I think of this, And then that's not it. So I managed to connect up with a guy here that does LCQT. And he's going to take me out tomorrow morning and do some parking maneuvers, some really complicated parking maneuvers. And apparently there's something here called the cave. And I've seen pictures of this to where there's docks and stuff inside this cave area. And it fascinated me that he would be able to take me on this, and I would be able to learn some very valuable skills in regards to backing. And I think he might be willing to help me with the tandems as well. And both my Top Gun instructor, who said, give him a call, send him a message or whatnot, and he'll hook up with me too tomorrow. But both of them were saying, hey, you know what? If the shipper receiver is saying have those tandems slid to the back, is like, well, you know what? It's not their license on the line; it's yours. It's just you go ahead and tell them. It's like, hey, I'm new at this. I'm not really good at steering with the tandems in the back. Let me go ahead and get it in there the way it is, and then I'll slide them once I'm in the parking spot. Or have them slid to the back, get into the facility, slide them to the 40-foot mark, get your trailer where it needs to be, slide them to the back, park it, drop it, and be done with it. And it's just some of those things where I just like, it's so simple that, it's like, why didn't I just kind of consider that? Because, I'm trying to follow the rules. I'm trying to do what people are, telling me to do. When there's actually another solution to it. And, another thing like what I could have done at the Costco that I had a problem with was I could have just parked in the, in the middle of the road. And I mean middle, where there's a middle lane, where the yellow lines are at. Put the flashers on, get out, go walk the area, that you're supposed to park in or whatever, and then get back into the truck. Try to get the lay of the land if it wasn't clear with the satellite map. Jeez. And all of this because of what happened with the mirror and getting this low T called to Kansas City. And all of this has been like happened and set up. How weird is that? Honestly, how weird, how wacky is that? That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Just like how this journey has just been crazy as it is. And then this development. Oh, folks, this is just weird. It's just weird. And it's just cool to have you folks with me on this journey to experience this weird and wackiness here with me. So, man, that's just so weird. It blows my mind. And shout out to Steve. Steve is who I met. Awesome guy. Definitely got a wealth of knowledge. And hope to meet him. Hope to meet him again tomorrow, or sometime in the future, and just chat, have fun, maybe swap a few stories. And with it being Driver Appreciation Day, they have a turquoise food truck, and compliments of Swift. They are taking care of us. And I got some Spanish thing here. It looks pretty good though. Is it still good? Probably. Unless I drop it. Then I don't think it'll be good. Or it'll still be good for like 10 more seconds.